what it is, guys. What an episode. Okay. First of all, is it the most plot-ridden episode we've ever had? Not by a long shot. Did it have the most action we've ever had? No, not really. But that one sequence, that one thing, it just made up for all of it. So let's go over this episode real quickly here. I'll try to recap this without getting too long-winded, but y'all know I talk too much, so I'll try to restrain myself. I will fanboy a bit, though, in a few minutes, but we'll talk about it. All right. So the episode opens up. We have Ultra Instinct Goku. We got it last episode. We have it this episode. And my God, that look on his face. He is ready to just end this. Oh my goodness. And of course, he's still radiating heat. Now, I'm not sure what the whole heat thing is about. I'm sure there's some ki or chakra or some kind of explanation for it in Japanese culture. But I want to say this is going to be the big weakness. Like, I know he has problems controlling his ki right now and controlling his energy, but I don't think in the end that's going to be the problem. It's going to be the heat. Kind of like how Super Saiyan 3 and to a much lesser extent Blue have ki control issues and stamina issues. I think that's going to be this thing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with time. Maybe it's just his body getting used to it. I don't know. But the heat is there and it's very significant. Now, one thing we didn't see last time, is episode 109, 110. What we did not see last time was him powering up with Ultra Instinct. So this was kind of cool. I appreciated the hell out of this. And it looks just outstanding. To the point at which Toppo and Vegeta even take a moment and go, oh, what? It interrupts their fight straight up. So, I know people are getting frustrated, and I know people are starting to get really, really tired of it. I guarantee you guys, without question, we are going to see this fight. We're going to see Vegeta and Toppo. If they don't rewind and show it all the way through, we will get the most epic portion of it. I get the feeling right now they're just kind of screwing around. They haven't gotten serious yet. But I guarantee you they will, and I guarantee you we see it. So hang tight. It is coming, and it's coming faster than I think you think. So, Frieza sees this, and Frieza's even like, rooting Goku on, which is weird for Frieza, but I know he has his own motives, so I'm not going to get too involved in it. The only thing that aggravated me here, and I don't want to pick on the animation too much, because I know it's kind of an easy thing to do in Super, but it's just obvious Frieza's in two different poses in these shots. It drives me nuts. But anyway, even the Zenos are like, what? So, yeah, an awesome moment. And then, Kefla, and it is Kefla, it's not Kefla, it's Kefla. Remember, just a little reminder here, it is the combination of two names. It is Kale and Caulifla. K-Fla, not Kefla. So, I don't know, that's a funny thing. That's like they call Bra Bulla. It's pronounced Bra, but, whatever, they have to censor it. But it is Kefla, not Kefla. And that actually, just real quick to go off on a tangent, I'm not a big fan of the way they've done the naming convention, because with Goku and Gogeta and Vegito, it's always the person that's the dominant personality and the dominant features that gets the forefront of the name. And in this one, maybe when she's in her base, you could argue that Kale has more features, but right here when she's powered up, it's very clearly Caulifla. It's basically Caulifla stacking her boosts on top of Berserk. So we'll talk more about that in a moment. But so she goes over here and she powers up. Now, I have been saying since the beginning, since they were first started talking about Super Saiyan 3, that they were going to get Super Saiyan 3. And I thought this was going to be the moment. When she made this face, it reminded me so much of when Goku did that almost exact same face in the Buu Saga. And then immediately after that, he gets Super Saiyan 3. So, I thought that was going to be the moment. Now, I unfortunately stand corrected. a little sad about that, but even Kaba says, oh, they're powering up to Super Saiyan 2. And I'm okay with that. I Super Saiyan 2, but we've been there, we've done that. Why was she not using that from the start? Now, I know the power scalers have been going nuts. And yes, power scaling is all over the place. All over the place on Super. But remember, these are Saiyans that have evolved completely differently. They don't have tails. You could almost argue they're half Saiyan, half human hybrids from the start. There is a big fan theory about that going around. Now, whether or not that's the case is irrelevant. What you have right now, and Vado said it herself, it is basically Kale and Caulifla merged is like the multiple of them times 10. That's nuts! They were already crazy strong. And then what it seems like is happening here, and it's, again, probably a little bit of my headcanon, it looks like this is Caulifla, basically, because she's the dominant force, Caulifla stacking Super Saiyan 2 on top of the Super Saiyan Berserk modifier. So that, if you really think about it that way, with the multipliers and all that stuff, that is a way you could think about it to make sense why she's so damn strong. Remember, Berserk mode, Kale, took out Goku using Super Saiyan Blue. Now, he was sandbagging, but still. So, just keep that in mind. Alright, moving on. So now, we have both of them powering up and just showing off. And then, Kefla starts to do this like multi-orb attack thing, and it's just awesome. And what I really love about this, it starts spinning and spinning, and then it does this kind of like shield-looking maneuver. Now, this reminded me, for those of you that read Marvel Comics, this reminded me of Captain America's, I forget what they call it, but it's basically his virtual shield. He had the, in fact, Coulson used it in season 3 or season 4, whatever the last season was, of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but when he lost his vibranium shield, they invented this kind of, Tony Stark, in fact, invented this kind of, like, virtual shield thing. So that's what it kind of looked like to me, and I thought it was kind of neat. But Goku is entirely unimpressed. And, of course, she turns that into this enormous ki blast and just charges him. And what I love about this, and it makes sense, Goku just kind of sidesteps, and she dodges, or he dodges, and strafes, and she just goes right by him and does this kind of like, you know, that kind of like whole Tom and Jerry almost fell off the edge of the map thing. But it works if you think about it. He dodges. She's got all her momentum in the swing. Where's she gonna go? What's she gonna do? And I love it. She turns around. And she's like, "Stop dodging and get hit already, damn it!" And I'm like, really? But yeah, so she starts just going at him, and apparently breaking her hip, according to this cell. But she just starts, like, leading into him. And she's not even, like, there's not really any real form to her fighting. She's just like a wild animal swinging and swinging. And even the Kaioshin is getting into it. He's just like, he's like, "Aah!" Apparently that's been his personality the whole time. I'm not sure how much I appreciate that, but whatever, that's a thing. He's now a rage monster. But she is just giving it to him and giving it to him. And Goku is just, I mean, I was expecting her to go full Dempsey roll at one point. And he was just embarrassing her, really. And then they give us this background on this. Now, what's interesting is they go back to, and don't fix the animation, sadly, but they go back to the Battle of Gods arc, and they remind us that Whis was basically telling him about this. He's like, hey, you just have to move. It all comes by instinct. You're overthinking it. You're going nuts. So, like, they're really, really, really trying to explain it. They're trying to say this was the whole build-up from Super. This is what Super was built around, was this Ultra Instinct thing. Feels to me, I don't know. I don't want to think that was even from back in the Battle of Gods movie. I want to think that's a little tiny bit of a retcon, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, just because I know how Toriyama's mind works. But neither here nor there. So she starts doing more of these multi-key blasts, and she's just sending them at him, and he is just flipping through him. I mean, he's not, part of the point of Ultra Instinct, he's not thinking about it, he's just going. And then he starts skating down the side of the hill, and she's just unloading. Now, when Love, she gets in his face, and he just does this double fist pump. It's just double punch, and sends her flying. Now, what's interesting about this, now everyone starts oohing and eyeing, the Zeners are going nuts, but you see him stare at his fist, and he begins to realize he doesn't have the power that he used to. And even Kefla's just like,
your powers are weak, old man.
So, yeah. An interesting point, we get these these credit sequences, or what do you call it? The blurbs between the advertisement that are Ultra Instinct Goku instead of the team. I don't even think they did that for episode 109 and 110. I don't think they did that for the double episode, but interesting. I wonder if that's foreshadowing something. But of course, now Jiren's awake. And we knew that was going to happen. I mean, once Goku is Ultra Instinct, and this kind of power is being thrown around, Jiren is going to take notice. And he's going to start... he doesn't play it. That's the whole thing. I think he's got Ultra Instinct, personally. I think he just does everything solely by instinct. That's why he meditates, is basically to just hone those skills. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a separate video. So Goku gets behind Kefla. He just basically just embarrasses her and hits her again. And this is the look of pain on her face. I mean, I know he's not able to hit as hard as normal, but damn, that looks like he got her right in the breadbasket or something. She is gone. But then he hits her a third time, and this time, what's interesting is it's almost like when Jiren used his eyes to blast someone away. He swings his fist, but it's the air current, and almost just the force of the punch goes at her. Knocks her through a few hills, and then she's just like, forget this happy noise. Jumps up on a rock and just starts charging up DBZ style. And Goku's just like, this is over with. And I love this. This leads into just the best part of the whole damn episode. She is just screaming and screaming. And I thought once again, I was like, this is it. She's getting Super Saiyan 3. Because even if you look at her expression, they're doing the light show. I mean, it's like the friggin' laser show up in here. She is just shrieking. They're giving you these side shots of her with the hair. And I was just like, the hair's going to start growing. Sadly, it never does. But she starts doing these like ribbon of light attacks and slicing stuff apart. Everyone's losing it. The Xenos are getting into it. And Goku is just not having it. He starts charging her. He's dodging everything left and right. She's throwing everything she can at him. And he is just... and it gets close. It phases his, just grazes his hair, his elbow. But you know what? He's still going at her. And what happens? Ka. And he is just jumping off of the rocks and everything. And just using the shrapnel as a pedestal. May. And she is losing it. She starts just freaking going nuts. She is just... it's that whole Broly thing yet again, sort of. She is just shooting her ki everywhere. It's like when he said he was overflowing or whatever. It's that same thing. She is just throwing her ki everywhere. And he's just coming at her. Ha! And she is just... charging up this huge attack, and it's just like I showed you at the beginning. May. She blasts it out, and he's in front of the blast, right? I mean, he should be eating this blast, and this scene, this will go down in history as one of the top greatest Kamehamehas of all time. There is the beam struggle with Vegeta back in the Saiyan Saga. There is the teleport Kamehameha against Cell. And then there's Goku surfing the Kamehameha of Kefla's blast. What? But it makes sense. The energies could repel each other scientifically. There's logic there. But more than that, he's just basically holding himself up on it. Otherwise, he'd be eating her blast. I mean, he's gone through her blast before, but I don't think he couldn't right now. I think this is the wisest move, but he just surfs the blast. And in fact, I would almost say this is probably more effective than Cell's because he actually finishes her off with it. Gets up there, does the like the $6 million man, the slow-mo, the look of just absolute I done fucked up on her face. Ha! Light flash. She is gone. And she's just, I mean, an occupant, more or less, on that Kamehameha wave. Oh my god. Just done. And then the Potara shatters, and the two of them fall down right on the side of the arena. What an episode. And as expected, Goku powers down, and of course he's hurting, but it's because he's used too much energy. And this is what interested me. I expected Frieza to be a dick about it. I expected Frieza to be an opportunistic asshole. But no, he was like, I can use this. Frieza's getting a lot of character development here that I don't think people are paying attention to. Frieza is becoming a very, very interesting person. Way more than the asshole he was in the Frieza saga. So, keep an eye on him. He's getting some amazing character development. And of course, Vegeta's like, I'm going to conquer it before he does. Because it's Vegeta. Now, an interesting fact. I won't say fact. Interesting theory rolling around right now is that Vegeta's going to get Ultra Instinct, but he's going to have the offensive side, whereas Goku has the defensive side. Is this leading to Ultra Instinct Vegito? I would think so. How they get the Potara is beyond me, but that's just a fan theory. And I like it. I think that's a neat fan theory. That, because Whis even said that they have to work together. If they work together, they're unstoppable. It just makes sense. It's like listening to the original story. And yes, I do think that wasn't necessarily intention, but that's the way it always goes. You go back and you say, oh, that's a thing. Cool, it's a thing now. Done. Anyway, I'm getting long-winded. So at the end of it, Goku's just walking back into these blasts from the other people fighting, and we get the end of the episode. And what a freaking episode. I cannot wait to see where all this goes. I did not personally think that Kefla was going. I personally thought, sharing my predictions, I thought she was going to go Super Saiyan 3, and then defuse, and then we'd see them a little bit later. They built them up a whole lot. Yes, they used them to a great deal. Now, yes, I know people were tired of them. I personally wasn't. But I was expecting a little bit more out of them. I think they fizzled, but that's the thing. That's my opinion. Post your opinion below. Now, the one last thing I want to talk about, and I'll probably do a whole video on this alone, is in the episode preview, we got this interesting shot of Ribrianne powered down. She's just base Brienne de Chateau. And Brienne starts levitating and going to this new transformation. But remember, levitation shouldn't be available, more or less. She shouldn't be able to do it. Now, I know that Ribrianne grew wings at one point, and she did this weird thing where she was flying, but she didn't have wings in this shot. She doesn't have anything in this shot. There's only one other person, that we've seen break the rules like that, and that's Jiren. And I wouldn't be surprised if he could just transcend the whole limitation. Now, I'll do a whole video on this, I think, coming up, but they bill her highly in the intro. Highly. They bill her as much as, no, I won't say as much as Jiren, but they bill her fighting Super Saiyan Vegeta. So, What if she goes from being this comic relief character that she's been this whole time, that people are sick and tired of? What if she gets serious? What could happen? I don't know. Can't wait to see, guys. I think I'm going to do a whole theory video on that coming up. I would really, really like to start doing more just general Dragon Ball content. So, guys, let me know what you think below. Use that comment section if you would. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you thought of the format of this, the thought of all of that. I know I get long-winded. You can bash me for that if you want, but it's not going to change. But guys, as always, if you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down there. Hit the little bell icon for the notifications. I just really enjoy doing this, and hopefully you enjoy watching it. And again, leave your feedback, because I love the feedback, and I do try to reply and respond to as much as possible. And it does drive where this is going in the near future. So that's that. There's also the social medias. We got the Birdman, we got the Booker, and if nothing else, I will lay your ass out next time.